good result, 2 wins, no injuries.
Yeah. I think winning becomes a habit for good teams, and they just find a way to win. I think back to the Geelong game last week, where they find a way to win. Those guys, they've done it for so long. So for us, we're trying to develop that winning feeling, and regardless of what people say about the competition, I think the competition's in great shape. This year I think sides of Melbourne and Richmond certainly played their best available squad. So. And we did too. So I thought the quality of footy was pretty good tonight.
And to win a tight one as well, I mean, is that worth even more?
I think as you want to expose your players to that winning feeling in tight games as often as you can. And there are certain things you want to be able to do when the game's tight, whether you're a little bit down or a little bit up. And you can practice that at training all you like, but until you've got some genuine pressure, you don't know how you're going to go. So. It's always good to come out the right side of them.
What were the main positives to come out tonight for you?
Oh, there are quite a few. I think all of the boys who played their first games for us, and Jordan Gisbert's I thought was very good in the first game. I thought Ben Jacobs was very good too. Ben's got some things that I think he's a good natural talent, Ben, and the mistakes he made are very, very coachable, so we'll work on those with him. I thought Will Sierakowski in the first game, and he played the second, was impressive too. He hasn't played a senior game, but he's been around for a long time. Matt Jack Daw obviously did some really good things, as we basically announced that he would, and he'd do some things that would make people stand up and watch. And we asked him to take the game on, and I think that was the definition of taking the game on from what we saw tonight. But Daniel Curry, I thought, was probably for us as coaches, we're looking to introduce some new players, and we needed some genuine support for Todd Goldstein, and I think we found more than that. So I thought he was outstanding in that game.
Of all those players you mentioned, the door brought a smile to your face quite visibly there. That goal that we saw, is that something that you hope to see, I guess, a lot more of?
I thought you were going to say, is that something you coach? And I was going to claim it, absolutely. Oh, look, we will see it again. We will see it. I mean, he'll do that. He'll do that on a semi-consistent basis because he has just outstanding athletic attributes. But the thing I was most pleased about after that goal was the reaction from his teammates. They were genuinely wrapped for him and all got around him, and he's had to fight really hard for a long period of time to win the respect of his teammates. Because when he first came into the club, he was, he didn't know what it took to be a professional athlete, and he's now rapidly learning that. So to get the respect of his teammates, I think, is the most pleasing thing.
Will he be in the frame to play pretty early on?
Well, he is. I mean, he is. I mean, we've got a fair bit of work to do to sort of start to settle our side down, but I think he's got some pretty good players to compete against, because I think his best position is ruck forward. I thought he did some good things in the ruck too. So. I mentioned Dan Curry and Todd Goldstein and Drew Petrie. There's a lot of players that, and we're fortunate to be in that position, but history tells us that we play 34 players every year. So he's going to be in our best 34.
It's taken some time, as you said, for Daw to finally take that step. Are there times during that journey where you sort of doubted whether he would get to this point where he has?
Not because of natural athletic ability or any God-given talent, but players reach a crossroads in their career where the penny drops and they realise what it takes. Natural talent's not enough. They realise what it takes to be a 24/7 professional athlete, and so I had, I probably questioned whether he could adapt to the lifestyle, but he's absolutely impressed me the last 12 months with how he's adapted to that, and he thoroughly enjoys it. I mean, we talk about professionalism and being a 24/7, full-time professional, but you've got to enjoy it too. Being an elite athlete, it's an enjoyable life. And right now in sport, not just footy, but sport, people are talking about the rigours of professional sportsmen. You've got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, it does become a chore, and you end up doing things that you shouldn't. And so, I think he's thoroughly enjoying his footy, which is critical.
Sorry, Brad, I'm not sure if you've been asked this yet, but is he a good chance to play in round 1 or in contention?
Yeah, my answer to that was, yeah, he's in contention, but I think Daniel Curry was a terrific story tonight. So he's one of a number of players that we've got who play his position. Goldstein, Petrie, Dorr, Tarrant, Hanson, Black, etc. So, but I said we play 34 players historically on average, and he's in our best 34. So, you know, he's going to play senior footy this year, I'm sure.
Boomer obviously played the 2 games. Do you play him throughout the entire NAB Cup and load him up, since he won't be playing for the first 6 weeks, or do you have to monitor him or balance it throughout the next few weeks?
No, we're going to take the advantage, or take advantage of his ability to play in the NAB Cup by playing him probably at least the first couple. And the reason for that is I want to expose some young players to playing with players like him. I mean, Boomer's value to the team is obvious to everyone, but I think he'll go down as probably one of the greatest role models that North's ever had in terms of how to prepare yourself to play AFL football and how you go about the game itself. So the more I can expose our young untried players to Boomer, the better.
He's a veteran who's been around for a long time. Is it still, taking that experience into consideration, is it still hard to sort of keep him, you know, knowing the seat of his pants to get out there?
Yeah. Oh, look, he's you know, he hasn't missed a training session all pre-season. It's unbelievable. I mean, I haven't spoken to James Hurd about Dustin Fletcher, but they should do studies on those two. I mean, they're unbelievable. There must be something genetic that just, you know, that they have that others don't. But and that's a little bit unfair, because that assumes that he's just born with it. I mean, he marries up what his genetic gifts with, you know, absolute hard work. So when you've got that combination, you're going to be pretty good.
Just to win a close game, even that's a short pre-season game, is that an important thing itself?
Yeah, it was. I mentioned before, winning's a habit, I think, and you can practice what you do in tight games, whether you're up or down. But it's not unless you're playing against genuine opposition, you know, you can only practice so much. So the more opportunities you get to play in those tight games and win, I think is great for our young guys.
Good.
All good? Thanks, guys.